I give Shea credit because the one thing as a superstar you have to do, two people have the most control of a team. The best player and the coach. It's up to the best player to give those guys confidence. It also is important for the coach to give them the freedom to do their thing. So Coach Daniel, is that your name? Dagnall and Shea, man, they do a good job. I love the way they do their interviews together, but when you're a star, you have to give those guys air.
Charles Barkley grabbed the mic, looked dead into the camera, and unloaded on the Lakers like he had a personal score to settle, live on national television. No filter, no cushioning, just raw heat from the opening second. Cowboy boots, bold predictions, and what can only be described as full Sandman dance energy. Chuck brought the entire production with him. The Lakers got handled in Oklahoma City, and Barkley made absolutely sure that everyone watching understood just how bad it looked. So the question now is straightforward. Was he speaking cold, hard truth, or did he take it too far considering the series still isn't finished? And be honest with yourself. How many people were secretly loving every single moment of that meltdown on national TV? Inside the NBA genuinely doesn't get the credit it deserves for turning a postgame show into a full roast session without a moment's warning.
We said, hey, maybe the Lakers could win a game, but this team here, man, they've been, even though they didn't win the championship that first year, they've had the best record 3 years in a row.
Number one seed in the West 3.
Yes. I mean, so they have been, and now they.
Most nights you tune in expecting film breakdowns and highlight recaps. Then, without warning, the whole thing shifts, and suddenly, Charles Barkley is running a full comedy set with whatever team just got humiliated that night serving as the punchline. This time around, the Lakers walked straight into that spotlight after Game 2 against the Thunder, and Chuck wasted absolutely zero time capitalizing on it. The setup was as clean as it gets. The Thunder won by 18 in Game 2, series now sitting at 2-0. Oklahoma City looking sharp, fast, and completely locked in. The Lakers, on the other hand, looked like a team that showed up to the arena and genuinely forgot what they came there to do. You could feel the energy shift in the studio, too. The crew came in with that look, like they had been sitting on this all night, just waiting for the moment to let it loose. Ernie Johnson did his best to keep the segment grounded and professional, but Chuck had no interest in calm or controlled. He was already somewhere else entirely. And then came the line that blew the doors off the whole thing. Get the cowboy boots ready, we're going to Oklahoma City.
You know what they say at a time like this?
Get the cowboy boots ready, we're going to Oklahoma City?
No.
That's what they should be saying.
Well, they just tased Ryan. This ball game is over.
Just tased Ryan.
131.
Hey, King. I wanted to do that tonight, and Ernie wouldn't let me.
Oh, come on. You're...
That was all it took. No build-up, no easing into it. Just a direct, confident, sweet prediction dropped right into the open air while everyone else in the studio scrambled to catch up. Ernie pushed back gently, trying to pump the brakes a little, but Chuck didn't budge. He made it crystal clear that the cowboy boots line wasn't just a throwaway joke. That's genuinely how Lakers fans should be processing this situation right now, because this series has the look of a quick exit and a very long, very quiet offseason ahead. And somehow it only got better from there. The crew started clowning Barkley about wanting to bring back the Kabaya celebration, and Ernie apparently told him beforehand to leave it alone and not even think about doing it on air. Chuck, of course, told the whole studio anyway. He openly admitted he wanted to break out the Kabaya call the moment the Lakers' loss was confirmed, and even revealed that Ernie had to physically intervene to stop him from doing it. And what did Chuck do after all of that? He went ahead and did a scaled-down version of it on air regardless, because playing by the rules has never exactly been part of his broadcast philosophy. The studio erupted. People watching at home were right there with them. Lakers fans, on the other hand, were almost certainly not finding any of this nearly as entertaining. But for everyone else, it was appointment television at its finest.
Come on, Chuck, they getting swept. Come on, babe.
I think that's what that means, Kenny.
Oh, Sandman. You see, I do the Sandman dance. Hey, I'm just getting a head start. We're going to be off another day next week.
Is that happening tomorrow too?
Oh, in Philly? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a Knicks are going to wrap it up for my boys tomorrow. And listen, I'm so sick. Al Palagonia, Spike Lee, Timothy Chalamet, Ben Stiller, Tracy Morgan, all them hoodlums coming down to Philly making all that damn racket. Come on, Joel, rise up. Rise up. Come on, rise up, Philly. We can't get swept.
And just when it seemed like he might dial things back, Chuck pivoted without missing a beat and started firing at the Knicks-Sixers situation as well. He ran through the celebrity sideline crowd like he was taking attendance. Al Pacino, Spike Lee, Timothy Chalamet, Ben Stiller, Tracy Morgan, name after name, joking about them showing up in Philly and stirring up noise, even tossing out the word hoodlums for comedic effect. Then he flipped it entirely, pleading for Joel Embiid to step up while simultaneously expressing his exhaustion with all the celebrity spectacle surrounding the games. At that point, Chuck was fully unleashed, loose, unfiltered, and saying whatever came to mind. When he gets into that zone, nobody is safe, and nothing is off limits. But the Lakers segment still hit the hardest. Chuck wasn't just clowning them for the sake of it. He acknowledged that maybe they could steal a game, but made it clear that Oklahoma City is a different kind of problem. 3 straight years as the #1 seed in the West? That's not a fluke. That's not a hot streak. That's a program being built the right way, year after year, with the confidence to match. That roast had real layers to it. He went after the team, the history, the fan base, and the way they got broken down in Oklahoma City. But what made it land even harder was that he gave the Thunder genuine credit at the same time. That combination of praise for one side and criticism for the other makes the sting hit differently. When the opposing team is being genuinely respected, every mistake your team made stands out twice as loud. Underneath all the jokes, Chuck was still dropping real basketball analysis. He made it clear that this Thunder run is not some random surge. It's a deliberate takeover built across multiple seasons. They didn't win the title in year 1, but that didn't rattle them at all. They stayed locked in, kept stacking wins, and built the kind of confidence that now shows up visibly on the court every single night. That's how you beat a team by 18 and walk off the floor like it was just another Tuesday. Then Chuck shifted to where credit was most deserved, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and head coach Mark Daignault. There was a brief moment where Chuck blanked on the coach's name and Kenny Smith had to bail him out, which is exactly the kind of unscripted chaos that makes Inside the NBA appointment viewing. But once that got sorted, Chuck locked in on his core point. In his view, every successful team ultimately comes down to 2 people, the star player and the head coach. The star sets the tone, the coach builds the system, and everyone else falls in behind that energy. And by his measure, Shai is doing exactly what a genuine superstar is supposed to do. He's not chasing the spotlight, he's elevating the people around him. When things go well, he spreads the credit. He's doing interviews alongside his coach, calling teammates out by name, sharing attention the same way he shares the ball. The result is a full roster of players who are ready to step up the moment the game demands it. The Lakers, meanwhile, are operating in a completely different headspace, and it's costing them. Their star has been spent the past couple of weeks tangled up in arguments over officiation. Their coach went public calling it one of the worst situations he's seen for a star player. That's not focus, that's frustration bleeding into everything. The Lakers aren't just losing on the scoreboard, they're losing control of the moment itself. Chuck didn't have to spell it out directly. The contrast between the 2 teams did all the talking. Then he broke down the Thunder's depth, and this is where things get genuinely alarming for anyone hoping the Lakers can turn this around. Aaron Wiggins, Cason Wallace, Jalen Williams, contributors coming off the bench and making real measurable impact. This is not a top-heavy roster surviving on 2 or 3 guys logging heavy minutes. This is a full squad with a deep rotation and answers at every position. Most teams are praying their stars can carry them for 40 minutes and just hold on. Oklahoma City can rotate bodies all night and never lose a step. That depth is suffocating the Lakers right now, and their bench simply cannot keep pace. And just when it seemed like Chuck might settle back into pure analysis, the Sandman dance resurfaced. That old Apollo Theater energy where weak performances get swept right off the stage. Down 2-0 with sweep talk getting louder by the hour, the Sandman stopped being just a recurring joke. It started to feel like an actual warning. And Chuck committed to it this time. He got up and did the dance right there on camera, explaining that since the show was going off air for a few days, he needed to bank his celebration moments while he still had the window. The studio lost it completely. Because this wasn't just any broadcast moment. This was happening on national television right after a Lakers playoff loss, with one of the biggest names in the game somewhere out there watching every second of it. And here's what makes it all hit differently. There is no protection for the Lakers right now. The biggest sports show on cable didn't sit down and carefully dissect what went wrong. They laughed. That's a separate tier entirely. Analysis still leaves room for a comeback narrative, a possible turnaround, a reason to tune in. Laughter means people have already made their minds, and now they're just waiting for the punchlines to arrive. What makes it even more striking is that Chuck has been saying this from the beginning. He picked the Thunder before the series started, never wavered once, and kept saying the Lakers weren't built to handle this kind of team. He pointed at the roster construction, flagged the defensive limitations, and warned that Oklahoma's pace would expose things the regular season never fully revealed. And now, it's all playing out exactly the way he said it would. That's not just analysis. That's the right to go back, point at your original take, and let it speak for itself. He earned that celebration. Compare that to how most networks handle playoff coverage, and the difference is stark. Most shows stay in their lane, keep things professional, protect their access to big-name players.
There are unwritten boundaries around how directly you can go at a star, especially mid-series. You don't typically see someone opening a segment with a sweet prediction in cowboy boots, and you certainly don't see someone breaking into a full dance routine while the series is still being decided. But TNT lets Chuck be Chuck because he is the show. That freedom is precisely what makes those moments go viral within minutes. Lakers fans watching all of this had nowhere to hide. Their team just got blown out, their stars spent chunks of the night going back and forth with referees and even a courtside fan. The head coach picked up a technical. The roster looks outmatched at every position, and now the national broadcast is turning that loss into comedy content for the entire country to share and screenshot. It doesn't get easier from here either. The next game could be their last at home before heading back to Oklahoma City, staring down elimination. No quick fixes, no clean answers, no excuses left to fall back on. There's also a deeper conversation sitting underneath everything, even if Chuck didn't address it directly. LeBron James's longevity has always been the ultimate argument, the thing that separates him in every debate. But right now, that longevity is being tested in real time. What you're seeing is a version of LeBron taking a high volume of shots, getting limited trips to the free throw line, reacting to calls, and watching his team fall behind by wide margins. The career is still one of the greatest ever assembled, no serious person disputes that. But the level of dominance and control he once imposed on playoff games isn't showing up the same way right now. That's just the reality of this stage in a career this long, and it's becoming part of the conversation whether people are comfortable saying it out loud or not. And then there's the coaching storyline developing quickly in the background. If this series ends in a sweep or anything close to it, the pressure is going to land hard. J.J. Redick came in as the major offseason move, fresh approach, modern offensive philosophy, win-now mentality. But 2 games into the second round, none of that is showing up on the court. The offense looks disorganized, the defense is wide open, and the head coach picked up a technical arguing with officials in Game 2. That is not the kind of introduction you want as a first-year coach trying to establish credibility. Chuck and the crew didn't go directly at Redick by name, but the contrast they laid out said everything without needing to. The Thunder's coach is building players up and letting them play with freedom. The Lakers coach is reacting in the moment and getting caught up in the noise. That difference is showing up in the final score. Then Chuck landed on something deeper about playoff confidence, and it resonated. Confidence in the playoffs isn't built overnight. It's constructed through losses, hard adjustments, and coming back year after year with something to prove. The Thunder didn't arrive at this moment by accident. 3 consecutive seasons as the top seed in the West, taking early playoff exits, learning from them, and returning more composed each time. They've already been through the difficult parts. Now they move like a team that has nothing left to fear. The Lakers don't have that same foundation under them right now. This is a roster that has been reshuffled repeatedly over the past few seasons. Different pieces, shifting roles, constant adjustments. When playoff games get tight and the pressure peaks, that lack of stability surfaces immediately. Oklahoma City stays composed and executes. The Lakers get frustrated and start reacting instead. That is the actual gap between these two teams, and it's bigger than any individual matchup or box score suggests. Chuck also leaned into a broader conversation that most people in the industry avoid. The Lakers generate enormous attention, enormous coverage, enormous debate, but when it comes to deep playoff runs in recent years, the results haven't matched the volume of the spotlight. That's a legitimate discussion, and Chuck is one of the few voices in the space who can say it in a way that actually connects rather than just provokes. The internet confirmed it instantly. The Cowboy boots line was everywhere within minutes of it airing. The Sandman dance clip was all over every major sports page before the broadcast even finished. Even the clips of Ernie trying to rein in Chuck became their own separate memes. Lakers fans were heated in the comments, Thunder fans were celebrating at full volume, and everyone else was simply sitting back and enjoying the spectacle. That's what Inside the NBA does, unlike anything else on television. It doesn't just react to the moment, it creates the entire conversation surrounding it. If this breakdown hit for you, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next one when things get even more chaotic. Drop your take in the comments. Do the Lakers find a way to steal a game and make this a series, or is this already heading toward a clean sweep? Share this with someone who needs to see it, and I'll catch you in the next one.